Well, hey there, it's Joe Sonic Disruptive once again, and let's just go ahead and reveal my top 10 albums of the year. I realize that this video thing is all a matter of diminishing returns. The more people watch the first one and realize how boring you are and how much it sucks, then a lot less people watch the second and probably the third and fourth and. So let's just get the top 10 done with here and now. Um, there's so many honorable mentions that I could say. I am forgetting most of them at the moment. Um, White Walls, Grandeur, I enjoyed quite a bit. The Reticent, Coexistence, Good Tiger. Have you heard Good Tiger? Very different than this, but so layered and just dripping with ambience and just so lush in the vocal harmonies. Really good poppy stuff, but really good. Um, what else? Matthew Good Band, Moving Walls. Again, very different. That's pretty much acoustic. And um, if you like lyrics and acoustic singer songwriter stuff, great album. As is Christopher Gildenlau, the brother of Daniel from Pain of Salvation. He put out an album called Homebound, and this thing is nothing like I normally would listen to. Again, it's very acoustic and with some electronic elements thrown in there, but oh wow, really good. It's not gonna make my list, but I wanted to mention it. What's this? The song is I forgot. No Need to Stay Away. Oh man, if you're not in tears after that song, you are soulless. I tell you, yes. Um. Anyway, there's a ton more. There was completely blanking. I guess it doesn't matter. A great old prog band came back and brought their old singer back, and I'm blanking on it right now. I think they're Swedish. Great album. Really good stuff. Again, there's so much that I'm going to forget here. Dark Tranquility Moment, good. It came out very late, so I didn't really get a chance to get into it fully, so it didn't make the list, but very good. My Dying Brides album this year, the first one, Orion, great stuff. Love that as well, but sadly, not in my top 10, and a bunch of other stuff. Anyway, let's get on with the top 10. At number 10, Chaos Divine Legacies. Just a really great progressive metal album that combines styles. You get some of the more extreme elements with a very melodic, traditional progressive sound, and it's a fabulous album. I can listen to that time and time again. A bit of a surprise, not in that it's in the list, then that it's only at number 9, Caligula's Horse, Rise Radiant. Love that album. It is completely gorgeous. Salt may be one of the best songs of the year by any band. This was good. So good that I would call it great, but it's at number 9. Number 8, this was tough. Tough where to put this. This was higher and then it was lower, and then I had Caligula's Horse above it, and now I think it's just sentimental reasons. Fate's Warning, Long Day, Good Night. Love that album. Now, is it as adventurous as some of the other stuff here? Is it going to be as extreme as a lot of this other stuff? Obviously not, but for what they do, it is a fantastic record. Number 7, an obvious choice, Fleet Burner. Who the hell is Fleet Burner? Um, where are they out of? I think it might be Norwegian. I can't remember. I looked it up briefly. I just kind of stumbled across it, and there's only one. This is the self-titled record, I believe. It was formed by kind of a studio guitarist who's been in a bunch of different bands here and there. Um, love this album. It really kind of, it's much more in the Dream Theater, I guess, vein of the Progressive Highway, but really good, really adventurous. The vocalist here is, I love his voice. Um, so many great moments on this. It's a thematic record and it really takes you into the story. There's some videos from this band online on YouTube, and I think they were earlier before the album was out because I think they fixed the mix issues on some of those songs. Some of the videos I watched, I was like, man, that mix is off. And I listened to the album and it was fixed. Great album. I love that album. Number 6, Psychonaut. Unfold the Godman. This is another one that took me completely by surprise. Had heard nothing from this band before, and I love this album. It is addictive. So dissident and dark and weird and post-rock, art rock mixed with progressive, djent, all these different elements coming in to make a incredible record. Highly recommended. That would bring us to number 5, Enslaved Utgard. Yeah, I don't know what to say. Just a great, great, complex, diverse, and challenging album. Great record, and that's why it is at number 5. Number 4, Black Crown Initiate, Violent Portraits of Doomed Escape. This is so good. This is, well, obviously it's so good because it is at number 4, but just a killer record. Great songwriting here, great structure, very experimental while keeping a very nice structured thing as well. Love this record. Number 3, Descend, The Deviant. Another one that took me absolutely, completely by surprise. But I love this record. This is another one that does a really good job of combining the extreme side of progressive metal while having elements of a more traditional, maybe Queensryche sound in some of the melodies and some of the guitar lines, that sort of thing. And I love the mix. I love this album. It sucks you in and you want to kind of wallow in this world for the entire album. Great, great album. And that brings us to number 2. Before I get on to number 2, and when people hear it, they're going to be like, what? Some people are going to think that there's an album or two that I may be leaving off here. I cheated. I got a tie at number 1. So there you go. Number 2, another huge surprise. I just came across this because someone suggested it in a comment and I listened to it and I'm like, holy crap, this is so damn good. And it's Luna's Call, Void. Oh my god, this thing is so luscious, so beautiful, very Opeth inspired. Yes, indeed it is. But it's like combining modern Opeth with old Opeth and mixing a whole other thing in there. Much more, I'd say, experimental and muso, perhaps, than Opeth. Great guitar lines, great riffs, just complex musical ideas here, and you're really taking on a ride here where you have no clue where you're going next. Um, if you haven't listened to this album, you need to. So good. Brings us to number one. And remember, there is a tie. So, Lunatic Soul, Through Shaded Woods, is at number one. There is a special thing that does to my soul. I had to put it in this spot. It is so beautiful and just so many great elements there. And it's not even something that I'm always in the mood for, but when I am, there's nothing that can replace this album, if that makes any sense at all. So good at just relaxing. If I'm going to just unwind, if I wanted to meditate before sleep, any of that stuff, I can put this on, and it is boom, mind expanding, and it takes me to different places, and I love that album, and that's why it's at number one, tied with Catatonia, City Burials. Come on, you knew I had to go here. Um, with all the great music this year, my mind still kind of feels that 2020 is Catatonia's year, and everyone else was just kind of suffering through it, as it were. These songs are absolutely memorable, and it's one of those albums that I can go back to. I could listen to it every day, and I probably listen to at least some of it probably every other day. I keep returning to it, keep going back. There's so many songs that I love, so many moments here, and it is in a much like Lunatic Soul. It holds a very special place in my heart. Something about that. Is it the most extreme? No. Is it the most musically diverse? Is it the most talented from a musician's standpoint? No. I'm not saying any of those elements aren't there as well. It's very good in every one of those elements, but the sum of all of its parts comes together to make a beautiful masterpiece. I said it. It's a masterpiece. Yeah. Um, so there you are. My top 10. Tell me what you think about it. Tell me what yours were. What am I missing? I know there are many albums on there that people have listed that I have yet to listen to, that I need to go back to. And we'll see, a couple months from now, I may look at this list and be like, oh man, what was I doing? Because my last year's list would have changed a lot. I listened to a lot of other music this year from 2019 that I was like, holy shit, this would have easily been in my top 20 last year. And I would have thrown some of this other stuff that I thought I loved and then doesn't stand the test of time. We'll see. I think this is a stronger crop of albums than last year's top 20, without a doubt. I can't see much of this not standing the test of time. I really can't. Um, there you have it. Thank you very much for watching. Thanks for sticking with me. And see ya.